All-Star 2025, San Francisco. Jack, it's been a good run.
Killing it. Enjoying
But
it.
I don't think there was any way we could have expected to have this as our closing interview.
Yeah, I was excited. I couldn't wait.
I got to thank Dana Pump. I've been knowing Dana since I was 14, the biggest hustler in the world, him and his brothers. And he called me like a week and a half ago. He's like, Matt, I think I got Barry. I'm like, Barry who? Because either Barry Sanders or Barry Bonds. I'm like, I don't believe you. He's like, no, I promise you. He's like, hit this lady. And I hit Lisa, and we hit it off. And now, man, welcome to the show. Barry Bonds, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an honor. 7-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, 8 Gold Gloves, all-time leader in home runs, single-season home run leader, the greatest baseball player of all time. When you hear that, what comes to your mind?
I don't really talk about it. I let my peers talk about
Okay.
it. I always tell people, if you're good at something, they'll
Everyone
talk
else will
about
talk
it. You
for
don't
you.
need to say anything.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really talk about it. I know statistically where I am. I don't need to explain it. I'd rather just help the young generation and give you the information that was given to me, teach you as much as I know. And then, you know, I always tell people, they always ask me like, how do you do it? I'm like, just stay around long enough for someone to talk about you. That's pretty much it. Just don't be a commercial.
Right. Right.
You know, if you want to be really good at something, you don't have to be doing it a long time.
Well, obviously, very humble about your success, but do you ever kind of look back and at the stuff you've accomplished and some of the records that'll never be touched? Like, do you think like, hey, like when I was playing, I really did it at the highest level?
I do. I look back and it's different. I have this, you know, like you talk about Michael Jordan, you can talk, our IQ is like way up here, Tiger, you know, it's just so high. And I think for myself, I look back at the gifts that God blessed me with, and then I look back at the hard work that I put into it. And then I try to find ways of how do I give this to someone else, or how do I teach this, or how do you pass this on?
Yeah.
And why do I see it, but you don't? You know what I mean? It's this battle that you play with yourself all the time, and then how can I articulate that to somebody else? And then they give you, well, why? Well, how does this work? Or well, how did you do this? And you know, my brain, it's right here in front of you, but you know, and then how do you not see it? And so I look back at ways of how, for myself, would I be able to, you know, articulate this to somebody else and give this gift that I was blessed with, and then, you know, and hopefully he'll give it to somebody else.
Greg Maddux once said, best hitter I've ever faced. Trevor Hoffman said, most dangerous hitter in baseball history. The big unit, one of the most amazing players ever. A Hall of Famer, no doubt. A lot of guys, again, you stick around long enough, they'll talk about you, but when it's from your peers, your contemporaries, the guys you went to battle with year in, year out, is that more satisfying to you?
Yeah, that's the most
it.
important thing. Yeah, I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Right.
I mean, just like in basketball, you know,
right.
it's like, I hear Michael Jordan's name all the time. You know, you hear those names, and when you have your peers talk about you, and
At the top
you
of the
know,
top.
that's just the top of the list. There's no other list greater than that.
Right.
I don't care who you are, what you are. If you have your peers talking about you, then you
did something.
You got an A+ in
You
class.
did something. You did something.
Well, we're here now for NBA All-Star. Were you here in 2000 for the All-Star game?
No.
With Vince?
No, I watched it on TV.
Oh, you watched it? You missed that.
I watched, yeah.
That was one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Were you close to any NBA players in your time for playing?
Jordan and I kind of came up together. We were in Chicago when Jordan first came in the league. We used to hang out in Chicago all the time when he was
really?
at the Bulls and stuff. And
Oh, we got to hear
know,
some. Hold on, man. Don't just tell us some shit like that. Two of the greatest. What are those
I can
conversations
tell you
like?
how
Is it
famous
competitive?
Michael Jordan was before he even became the most famous person ever.
yeah.
You know, him, Tiger. And we were in Chicago, and he was just, I mean, he's only 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
You know, and we went out just to grab a bite to eat. And I ain't never seen a line of people
Just a look.
that wanted to just talk to this guy. And I was just coming up too, so I was rookie, so nobody knew who I was. You know, I was just Bobby Bond's son, nobody at the time. And I thought I was pretty big at the time because I made it, but Michael had all these people, and he had a couple of security guys there watching, and Michael's so nice. He was just signing autographs, and we were trying to grab something to eat. And I'm over here going, I'm Barry, hello. You know what it's like to have somebody that good? You know what I mean? And for that one moment, I'm like, I want to be like Mike one day. You know, when you really see it from the very beginning. But he was so he was already large before he became larger than anything.
Yeah.
And I will always remember that. And he was always like, come on, B, let's go. And he, and it was good because we've always been like really, good friends. And even at a distance, now that, his profession's gone to where it's gone, and even at a distance, we, even if we talk and we haven't talked in a long time, like we talked, I think like last year, we had a conversation not too long ago, and it always seems like we've never missed a beat. And that's what's really good about, yeah.
I got a question. I mean, we talked to Kobe about Mike, and Kobe said every aspect dealing with Mike was competitive, and maybe that's because that was a young guy trying to catch him. Was everything with you guys, was it more just a genuine conversation, friendship, or was there some competitiveness even in the conversation?
We played two different fields, so two different.
Well, he tried to come to your field though.
Well, that wasn't gonna happen. I mean, I love Mike, but nah, bro, that wasn't going. No.
Did he ever ask you for advice on baseball?
No. I never asked him advice in basketball. I knew he was that good, and but we always joked around with each other. I mean, we had always a great respect for each other. I think I saw in Michael the same thing he probably saw in me, that this IQ, a vision of, the type of players we were. And like with my career, I took a little bit from everyone. I mean, the greatest of the greats they kind of like steal gifts from other people, and you're able to create yourself, like Tony Gwynn here, Pete Rose here, Willie Mays here, Hank Aaron there. And, we're able to see all these qualities in each individual player, and then you kind of invent yourself. I just wanted to be a great hitter. I knew I had power. I knew I could do certain things, but my dad always told me, be a great hitter. Don't chase the fence. Chase the fence, you're gonna lose. Be a great hitter. And that's all I wanted to do. So I had to take Tony Gwynn as a great hitter, P. Rose as a great hitter, Rod Carew, and I had to take contact hitters because I could hit the long ball, but I was striking out a lot when I was younger, and I had to close that gap. And so my dad always told me, work on things you don't do well, son. Things you do well, you always gravitate to that.
Right.
If you can bring 20% or 30% or 10% of what you don't do well, that increases what you do well. So it kind of balances them together.
Well, you mentioned, Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn, Pete Rose, some of the greatest contact hitters of all time. What were some of the things you watched that they did that you kind of picked up on?
Their patience, the way that they can calculate things on the field. I was able to mathematically calculate what a pitcher can and can't do. Once I can calculate you, then I could beat you. And then it becomes this: what is beating him, right? The goal of hitting is it's me and him. And if I can keep that tunnel vision between me and him and forget the goons that are around him, because in theory, my job is just to hit him and be good against him. Understanding the velocity of a pitch, just a fastball. So we're just gonna use a fastball analysis, because you have a guy who throws batting practice to you every single day and he only throws a fastball, right? And he tries to help you be really good. And we screw that up half the time. So I had to figure out how to master batting practice first, because this guy is trying to help me. So how do I can direct that? Now I'm gonna piece it to speed. Now I have to understand what my swing technique is, and then understand the velocity of a pitch and velocity of the ball. The faster it comes to me, the further it goes, right? But I don't change who I am, right?
Same swing.
Now, if I can focus on him, I already know the speed of a ball off my bat goes a certain speed. I don't care how many people are over here, I can still squeeze it through you. It's not like you're gonna catch every single thing, right? So my victory is to make contact off of him. Once I do that, everything else is out of the equation, right? So in theory, I win. I really do win. Even though the pitcher's standing on the mound going, I got you out. No, the second baseman did, or the outfielder did, or this guy, you were already out of the equation. So if we took all these people off the field, you would lose so much. It'd be really crazy, right? So now I have to redirect my brain into this tunnel vision of understanding. If I can concentrate enough to me and him, they slowly disappear. But I can't fight two people at once. I can't say I hit a line drive to the shortstop or hit a line drive to the outfielder and he made a catch. Now I want to try to beat them both. You can't. One-on-one I can fight, but I can't fight two-on-one. I'm going to lose. So I have to refocus and go right back to here and go, let me try to do that again. And let me try to do that again. And let me try to do that again. And then my success rate with him and me become better to my favor because now I'm focused on him. Mm-hmm. And now his math has to change. And so we're going to play chess constantly, right? But in theory, there's a lot more to the game than it is because he's 60 feet 6 inches and he has to throw a ball with 17-inch home plate within this gap. Well, laws of physics tell me he can only do it so many times. Even if I just stand there and never swing, he's only going to be able to do it so many times. And then mathematically, he has to come to where I get the advantage. That's just my IQ
deep.
of it.
I was gonna say, you the breakdown is crazy. He just gave you so many layers of the shit.
Yeah, it's hard to explain where my brain goes.
Right.
And, have you ever had those computer guys that do all this and you're like going, and he looks at you like, duh, this is computer 101, you stupid. Well, that's how my brain was in baseball. I'm like, I'll get these questions like, what do you think about so-and-so? I'm like, it's April or it's June, dude. I don't know. I don't have that equation. There's so many things that can go wrong and right that I don't get excited. I don't get excited over the first inning of a home run. I'm like, okay, we got 9 innings.
Right.
I don't jump in joy. All I'm doing is focusing on that pitcher, focusing on the mistake, or focusing on something else that can happen. And that's just how I think. Rubs people the wrong way, but it's the only way I can do it. It works for me.
For you, that's all that matters.
Did you and Mike ever talk about signing to Jordan Brand?
No, we never did.
Really?
I was with Nike briefly the early part of my career, and then Fila came over to me and offered me a deal of a lifetime at the time.
Okay.
They went with Ken Griffey Jr. at that time because Jr. came up and he was a kid, and well deserved. He was 18 years old. His dad was playing, so it was well deserved. And for me, Fila came along, they offered me the world, and for me at that time, and I was like, perfect. And so, I'd love to be with Jordan now. I'm retired. Mike, I'm right here.
A couple boxes, Mike.
They can have it, Mike. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. But
1992 Slam Dunk Contest. Visit Deion Sanders, Chris Carter, Ken Griffey, Mike
crazy.
Conley. How was that?
Crazy.
You had a little bounce on you?
No. No. And people need to know the truth because that's a damn lie. I got lucky as hell.
Yeah.
I could slam dunk, but I was just a basic slam dunker. I could go up with one hand, I could go up with two hands, and that's about it, and barely get up there.
Me too.
But so with the scenario with it is that I got in to go against Deion. I think it was just a second round. So I don't know who I was going against the first round, but so Deion was just really good. Those guys could jump out the gym. And Deion just went cuckoo for some reason. I got lucky and threw the ball in the air and it bounced it and I got it. And that was everything I had.
You surprised yourself.
I shocked the hell out of myself, right? Deion already did some great moves up there and under his legs or behind his back and everything else. And all I had to do was just do the same thing, but he wanted to get a little bit of acrobat in him, just like some of the dudes last night at the slam dunk. And he missed it. Yeah. And then that's how I beat him. So the truth is, Deion Sanders could out-jump me in a heartbeat, and I just got lucky, and then after that, it was over. My back was hurting.
They need to bring that back. I think that was really
dope.
entertaining.
They do. I think they do.
That was
It
Foot Locker,
fun.
right? Was that a Foot Locker slam dunk contest?
It was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
That was cool.
Michael Conley Sr.
Yeah, Mike Conley. He took off, right?
Oh, Mo,
Free throw line.
crazy.
He took off for the free throw line. I seen a highlight of that. Somehow that came across my feed a couple days ago. And if you watch that, he's so lucky. You know how you slip off the rim sometimes. He would have killed himself if he would have slipped off the rim because he was going so fast and hung and his whole body swung underneath. I was like, man, thank God he held onto that rim.
Those high jumpers, man. Like
Yeah,
them getting that slam
different.
dunk. Them
Oh,
high
nah,
jumpers.
crazy.
Okay, come on.
Different. Obviously, Dad played ball. What are some of your fondest memories going to the ballpark as a child and being a ball boy?
My dad was a hitting genius in his head. And he could hit too. His own personal life is one that gotten away from my father, but his mind was very sharp, very, very talented in hitting. He could pick a pitcher apart fast. And he educated me on that. He educated on learning their flaws, learning things. And then Willie was my mentor. Willie Mays was the one. It was great because I had like two people on me. Like my dad was my dad who anything I did was never enough for him. And then Willie was like, you did great. I love you,
you
you're
had
my
both the
godson. So I had
balance.
balance.
Yeah.
So I have basic balance. The guys who work with my dad, like Gary Sheffield can tell you some really good stories about my dad when he was training with us. I said, Gary's different. He's really different because like I could come home and say, I hit 2 home runs and I'm like, Dad, man, did you see that? He's like, how many bats you have? I said, 4. He said, well, why did you have 4? I'm like, he ain't even happy over the 2. Willie be like, that's great. You had a good at bats. So it was always good, but my dad was the one who challenged me.
Okay.
And challenged me to a point to where he expected perfection in practice. And practice was very important that my dad wanted perfection. And I'll never forget this. I was in the batting cage with my father and I was swinging the bat and I was jamming myself and I was missing balls and my dad kept putting the screen even closer and making it faster. And I go, Dad, I ain't got it, man. It's just not. So I was with my son at this time. He was little. And he said, Nikolai, why don't you stand behind home plate? And he said, get up there, Barry, and I want you to hit. I said, with my son back there, boy, you crazy?
No.
He said, then don't let him get hit. I said, bro, this ain't going down like that.
Crazy.
And so, and I didn't say bro at that time. I say to here. I say, Pop, Dad, love you. I never said that to my father. I said, Nikolai, get out this cage. So my dad said, no, I'm not gonna let him get hit. He put a T back there. And he said, in your mind, pretend it's him. Now swing. I popped every single ball. He played mind games with me, which challenged me, which I loved. And I needed him for that. I needed my father for that. And it was the best. He's the best hitting coach, the best. I mean, his mind was just off the chart.
Did that ever blur the lines of dad and trainer / coach? Because I've trained my kids and I kind of find there's a fine line. I coach my kids and train my kids and there's that fine line and I walk it and teeter it as far as being dad and then coach and trainer. Did you ever, like you said, he expected perfection. Did that ever blur the line of dad?
No.
Okay.
With me, it was different. I accepted him for who he was. I knew who he was. I knew the challenges I had with my father and I had a choice. It was deal with it or I was gonna miss the boat. And you have to see that as an athlete, you're gonna see it. And if you don't see it, then you're not gonna be there anyway. And you have to see that, why is my dad doing this? Why is he challenging me? He's not at home. We're not at home where he's like, say, clean your room up or anything like this. Why is he pushing me? I didn't realize it till as I was college and going on that, he was just, it was something I needed. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but I needed that. I needed my dad to be just a jerk. You know what I mean? I needed my dad to challenge me. I needed that because I was so good. I think I would have took advantage of things if he didn't keep me in my place. Like he would knock me down. And all I ever wanted to do was for my godfather and my father to appreciate my career. I didn't care about anybody else. I didn't care about, there was nothing that had to do with fans and nothing to do with anything. It was like, I wanted my dad and Willie to say I was part of their group.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one really knows. My godfather, Giants here 58, my godfather's here, right? My father's in right field, my godfather's in center field, and I play left field. All 3 of us in the generation played for San Francisco Giants, and all 3 of us played in the outfield together, but apart.
Right.
And that's always my goal, was to play left field. And they wanted me to play right field when I was first coming up in Pittsburgh and have this 007 James Bond. I'm like, that's a no. And I wanted my own position because I wanted to complete that circle. And then I knew my own talent. I didn't have the arm like Willie or my dad did. I knew I was quick to the baseball. I owe that to Bill Verdon, one of my outfield coaches. And I knew my ability. And I wanted to stay within my ability.
What's up, world? It's your boy, Stack 5, Steven Jackson. Shout out to StockX. Say, man, we're gonna take y'all down memory lane. 2003 was the year I won the championship. I was with Adidas at the time. I wore a lot of different shoes. I wore the Kobe's, I wore the shell toes. I was kind of fly at the time. But I'm gonna show y'all 2 pair of shoes that's real fly from 2003. StockX definitely blessed me with 2 of the hottest shoes that came out in 2003. Check them out. We're gonna start with Tracy McGrady T-Mac 2s. Ooh, Orlando colors. And if you don't have the X on your shoe, it didn't come from StockX. That's how you know it's official. Tracy gave me a lot of buckets in these. I remember him in Orlando. We had some battles when I was in Atlanta, but these shoes was the first of its kind. These were definitely some of the freshest shoes to hoop in 2003. See what we got in here. The beautiful StockX box. Ooh. the Kings. Appreciate the StockX. These fly. I mean, everybody to have a pair of these if you're a LeBron fan. These are special, man. I got LeBron's rookie year jersey signed. I gotta get these signed now. This is gonna be perfect. Rock and stash. LeBron arguably being the best player ever. Anything I get from him, I'm definitely stashing. These are like the holy grails. You gotta put these in a case somewhere if you can get them signed by the King. I would rock these. I still play basketball a little bit every now and then. This is a comfortable shoe. I'm gonna rock these. I'm gonna stash these. These mean more. So shout out to StockX for blessing me and taking me back to 2003, my championship year, with these LeBrons and the T-Mac 2s. Y'all go holler at StockX. Get fresh. This episode is brought to you by Captain Morgan, America's #1 spiced rum. This is the season where underdogs rise, brackets break, and every shot can turn players into legends. Some stories are written on the court with buzzer beaters and game-winning plays. But other stories are made off the court, when you and your crew follow the captain within and turn every party into legendary moments. So grab your crew, grab a captain and cola, and make it a story worth telling. Because legends start when you follow the captain. Visit followthecaptain.com for more. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
When did you start training?
When my son was born, 1989.
Okay.
When I got in 86, I mean, I was talented, I was good, but I wasn't, I was out clubs, partying like everybody else. Like when you're young, it's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Do anything,
exactly.
man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot, who cares? And all of a sudden, Nikolai, while my first wife was pregnant, I was like, oh, this is real. I have a responsibility. I cold turkey everything. And all I did was go to the gym from that day on. And in 1989, I was leading off with Pittsburgh at that time. And Jim Leland, my manager, who's the most unbelievable manager I ever had in my entire life. And don't get me wrong, Dusty Baker and Felipe Alou are up there. Don't get me wrong, but he was my first, right? And so Pittsburgh was the best for me at that time. So I was leading off, and I ain't never been a leadoff hitter. I'm like, I'm not leading off. I'm leading the team in home runs, but yeah, I got like 40 RBIs or something like that. That's not me. That's never been my role. So my son was born. All I did was train out in the snow in Pittsburgh. I ran every day. And then I said, I'm not leading off anymore. And when I went to the locker room to talk to Leland, the only thing he says, I already know what you're in here, and don't you say a damn word to me. You're my number 5 hitter, sink or swim kid. Because he knew they wanted to trade me, but he believed in me. I said, Coach, I've been swimming my whole life, and that's the year I won MVP. And then after that, I started training with Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, and all. I just went off the deep end, and then I wanted to be better training-wise, and then all I did was train, and I've been doing that the rest of my life.
Speak to that training, because I mean, Jerry Rice is known synonymously for his off-season hill runs and trains. So you jumped on that boat.
I jumped on that hard.
That's dope.
Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd run in the mornings, lift in the morning after running, and then go hit after that. I mean, it was from like 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And it's every day except the weekends, every day.
Baseball's known for a lot of unwritten rules. When you first came in the game in '86, what were some of the unwritten rules?
Depends what unwritten rules you're talking about.
The ones you can talk about.
I can talk about anything you want. This is 2025. People say whatever they want nowadays. Back when I was there, people didn't say what they wanted. Nowadays, you say whatever you want. You get kudos for it now.
Damn right.
You get followers, I guess, on social media. You just say, all you gotta do is say ass. Everybody wants to see you now, So.
Well, I mean, with that, talk your shit, Barry.
But what I wish the game was still today is there was a respect level at that time, a veteran level where you earned your stripes, you worked for it. And when you were a rookie coming up, you had to go through initiation.
Pay your dues.
Yeah, you paid your dues for damn sure back in those days where, I didn't have a locker when I first came in. Lee Mazzilli was my locker mate, and he was the coolest cat ever too. But he would sit his locker and my locker right here, and he put his ashtray right in the middle of my locker, and he smoked. My locker was on the floor with little hangers, little rollout things, and you sit on the floor, and you have to earn your locker. Wow. So you have to get a hit, you got to steal a base or score a run or hit a home run, something before you can get in that locker. So when I first came in, they had my uniform sitting down. And I already knew the written rules because my father was there. And, you know, and Lee's like, how you doing, kid? I'm good, sir. And you respected the veterans and you sat in the front of the bus. Like all rookies had to sit in front of the bus, all three of us. You know, and then we didn't have charter flights. We took commercial flights where you had to sit on the plane with other people at the same time. We didn't have that in Pittsburgh when I first came out. And then you had to go down to they sent me down to the baggage claim and I didn't even know the stuff didn't go to the baggage claim. They said, B, you got to go to the baggage claim and get all the stuff. And I'm sitting in the baggage claim like this and nobody's there. And I'm going, this is crazy. And then somebody comes and the bus already left. And you know, everybody knows that kind of stuff. And then, you know, and then you had to go wait for everybody's luggage, and we had to walk up with the bellman to all the veterans' rooms and give them their luggage till like 4 a.m. And we had a lot of things you had to do as a young player, but you appreciate it and you earned your stripes to where when your time came, it was your time to be able to take that initiative and stuff. And you know, the veterans tell you shut up, you shut up. You know, and that was just the way it was, and it was fun. I mean, I had a good time.
It's like that in basketball now too. It ain't no veteran presence.
There's
0.
Man, these kids are like, bruh. I'm like,
Ain't no veteran presence.
I have never gone over to my godfather, Willie or Hank Aaron, and said, bruh. Or, hey, Hank. I was like, Mr. Aaron, how you doing? I mean, there was a different appreciation for what that person did in your career. You know, it's just different. Nowadays, they walk by you like you didn't even exist. You don't even know anything. But just, I mean, it's fine. It's their game. Doesn't bother me none. You know, sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to come over here. Right? Because God's going to bring you wherever you need to get right? So sometimes they'll walk by me and stuff, and then they'll be like, hey, Barry, what do you see? And I'll be like, oh, you must be 2 for 30. You know, I go like this. I'm like, you must be 2 for 30. You need Lord in your hand. You need some church right now, right? And then when they get it, then you don't hear from them again. Then you come back. But it's part of the process, and it's all good. I mean, like I say, I'm only there for this information if you need it, and that's all I'm there for. I know anything else is your path, and I always tell them, you've done this before you even met me. And the athletes have to understand, I don't care what sport you're in, you did this before you ever met me. You may have known about me, but you never met me. You have to understand how good you already are just to be here. There's always gonna be somebody a little bit better than you, even no matter what team you're on. Even when you're in high school, Little League, there's always somebody better, or you were the best, either or. It's gonna full circle itself. But you just gotta understand your talent and then get the best of your talent. You know, I used to, it's like a lot of players when I was coaching even with the Marlins stuff, they're like, well, I'm not you. I'm like, well, that's the first thing you got, right? Because you ain't me.
Goddamn.
But let's be the best version of yourself. You know, right? Let's be the best version of yourself. I'm only here to help you. I'm not trying to challenge you. I can't do that anymore. I'm too old for that. So take this information, and if it works, we're just gonna throw darts at a wall all day. And we're gonna do this, and something's gonna stick. And let's just keep throwing these darts, and whatever you don't like what I say, throw it in the garbage. I don't care. It's your journey. It's not my journey, right? I'm just here to help you get to that journey you're choosing. And if I can, I can. If I can't, kick me to the curb and go somewhere else. You don't, I mean, it's okay. You ain't hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's all I do.
Are there some younger guys that you really enjoyed working with? Did you wouldn't mind sharing that like soaked it up and applied it?
You know, I love working with all of them. I never have a favorite. I have a challenge of each individual. I never have like a favorite because I could do so many things out there. I love the challenge of getting you right or fixing a puzzle, because that's what I did in my head all the time in my own personal career. We were always, you know, you're always having to revamp yourself, right? And it's taken on the challenge of, I don't care if it's Wade, I don't give a credit if it's Mookie Betts, I don't care who it is that I've talked to or worked with, or Dexter Fowler back in the days and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Alex Rodriguez I worked with. It's that puzzle that I enjoy. It's not a favorite. Alex was easier because he's already the elite of the elite, right? Our conversations are different. And understanding that each conversation I have with each person is different. You can't, this one method is not gonna work with this guy. I can sit there and say, you know, you need to hit off your front leg a little bit because you're too back-sided. well, it may not work with this other guy. He doesn't understand that. He's leaning so far forward. I'm like, no, man, it ain't like this. You know what I mean? I have to
Tailor it
to what works for them, right? And it's just creating the mind. It's changing the mindset. What does a man hate to do if you're really good at something? Just tell them they can't do something. They're going to show you they can do it, right? It's just a mind shift, right? It's a mind shift because he already has a talent to do it and saying, well, you're going to tell me that you're a professional athlete, you just can't hit a ball right there? Who are you talking to? What? Well, then you know what? I mechanically didn't do anything for you. You already fixed it your damn self, so you don't really need me. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just redirecting the mind for great athletes, and all of them are great. If you're in a professional sport, you're great.
No question.
Because there's so little of you there. I mean, come on, brother. Remember, you are good. You got to work with that.
You ever had one of those moments when you want to elevate your night? Maybe it's a dinner with friends or a celebration that calls for something extra. That's where Grand Marnier comes in. You probably heard of it, but have you tried the signature drink? The Grand Margarita. It's the twist of a classic margarita. It has the smooth richness of Grand Marnier's cognac. And combined with orange liqueur, a bit of citrus, and just the right amount of sweetness, with a taste like that, it's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're chilling at the crib or out with friends, a Grand Marg remixes a regular cocktail into something extraordinary. Don't just settle for a good cocktail when you can have something grand. It's about making your next drink one to remember. So when you're making your next margarita, remix it and make it grand with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style, drink responsibly.
Hoop fans, the NBA trades have been crazy. Get in on all the actions with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook with Pick 6. Pick 6 is a fresh and exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. All new customers who play just $5 will get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now, sign up using the code SMOKE to claim your offer. Getting started is simple. Pick just 2 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Lock them in and compete against each other for a shot at huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Sign up using the code SMOKE, only at DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
10 100-mile fastballs pitched to you today. You hitting any of them out?
100? That's easy.
Right now, today?
I don't care how hard you throw a baseball.
They gone.
There ain't no way you can throw a baseball 66, I can't just do like this. If there's a catcher behind home plate that sits like this with a glove, and you throw 100 miles down, he just go like this, boom, boom. All I did was change this object to a bat. Boom, boom. I ain't got to change nothing. I just changed the object.
Right now.
Now, if you're asking me to do something spectacular, that would take time for my body to get used to it at 60.
But just going up there.
But to go up there and hit it,
like
I don't care
bike.
how hard you throw it.
As
long as I can see it, I hit it.
That's crazy. When you great, you just great though, dog.
Willie could do it back, and even when in his 60s, him and my dad and them would come and hit all the time. They did it all the time, yeah.
There's a rich history of racism in baseball. When you first got into the game, did you feel it, see it? Did you hear stories from your dad or Willie or Hank or anything like that?
The problem with that question is that it's a fuel for the media to run with he said questions, right? He said. We already know that answer. We don't need to, I kind of stay out of it only because if you want the truth, it's an industry that needs to come together to make it happen. And the industry starts up here, okay? I'm down on the bottom floor. So we as an industry, we here bottom and top, have to find a way to come together to balance it, right? For me to sit there and say, is there racism? Yeah, I mean, I could say yes, that's true. We all know that. Me as Black people, we know what's going on. We're not blinded by any of that, right? We're not a threat to anyone. We're not trying to pose a threat to anyone. We're trying to be relevant or equal or valued, right? Well, the industry has to come together. And how do we do that? It's people need to sit at the table and figure it out.
That's simple.
It's that simple.
Conversation.
You have to.
Decline in Black players in baseball. Is it because of the love and black kids not loving baseball, or is it because other races are just dominating the game of baseball?
The other race, or if we're going to be technical, white race has always dominated baseball. It's just, I mean, it was there since day one until Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, if you want to be honest and true about it. How many star blacks are in baseball? You got star Latinos.
That's what I
You
mean.
got star
yeah.
Asians.
Yeah.
You got star whites.
Right.
When I played baseball, you had me, Ken Griffey Jr., Eric Davis, Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee. I can go on and on and on and on.
Right.
Andre Dawson. I mean, I can name a ton of inspiring black athletes on the field to inspire other black kids to
Right.
want to play,
Right.
right? So what is that? An industrial problem.
Yeah.
The industry needs to fix it.
That's simple.
What about too? I mean, I went to school with a lot of white kids in high school, and travel baseball was expensive. It was almost priced out of my community. Although I went to school with kids that can afford it, I feel like it's kind of priced out of the black community at times, and I think that kind of hinders the opportunity for some of these kids to come up and really have an opportunity at it.
It is very expensive. I mean, bats are what, $500?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's like crazy. I mean, I do something else. I mean, gloves are $300 something dollars. I mean, you're at almost $2,000 right now just to play baseball with spikes.
That's just equipment.
Just equipment.
That's
We're
not
talking
the
about just
tray,
with spikes
right.
and and stuff like that. And it's hard, but it still comes back to if you don't have enough, like the NBA, there's so much equals, or football, it's balanced. Baseball, it's not as
lopsided.
balanced. So why am I chasing baseball when I'm not looking at, okay, I can name Mookie Betts, I can name a few, but I can't name enough to say, Mom, go buy me a glove, or Mom, I'll go get a paper route, or Dad, I'll go do this to play baseball. There's not enough of us
You don't
there.
see it.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
You know, I'm retired. Kenny, we're all retired now. It's either industrial, we all have to get together and start communicating and talking and trying to find a balance, or you take the younger group and 6% or 2% you got and try to balance it, because you have to give, the kids need something to see, somewhat to see. I mean, you have to see it to want it. I mean, you would probably have more black kids want to play tennis because it's Serena and the rest of them that are out there because you're seeing it. And it's like a tennis racket and just some tennis. I'm going to go, you know,
I can do it too.
I could do that, you know, but there's not enough of us to inspire our community.
Yeah.
There's been an influx in Japanese players coming over and having success, similar in the NBA with European players, and there's a debate, and I feel like with European players, it's more work, more practice, more skill training, and then the game is the reward. I feel like with AU basketball, it's one practice and the game is everything. Why do you feel like the Japanese players are successfully transitioning into the major league so much at a higher rate these days?
Well, Japanese baseball's always been really
Huge,
good. I mean, it's always been good.
right.
And we've always, as Americans, have gone over to Japan and played in these all-star tournaments with them. And they have very talented athletes. Same as the Hispanics, very, very talented athletes. And then you have the Koreans are now producing pitchers and stuff and players as well. But you have a culture there in a country that is, like I say, industry bound to make it happen. Well, we're the United States, and we're good, even less with blacks. We're still good industry. We're the best.
Yeah.
We are the best. But the equality of it has to stay balanced for me. I mean, it needs to be balanced. And the Japanese have always have been very, very good. It's just we're bigger, stronger. You know, they're starting to catch up.
Yeah.
You can see it in Ohtani and stuff like that. They're starting to catch up. But at the time, we were always bigger, stronger.
Right.
You know, in our game, and it's just always been like that. But you know, now you can see that it's starting to transition over, and it's okay. I mean, we as Americans, we don't care. It's just like when we get to the World Classic, what side you gonna play on? That's what we care. That's the time we care. You over here playing our league, you better stay in our league. Don't go back over to Japan now and start beating on us. You know, we have fun in that way, but that's the competition. It's fun though.
Yeah. Thoughts on Ohtani? I mean, I think he came in has taken MLB by storm and signed a monster contract. Thoughts on just his ability to hit the ball the way he does and also pitch, and just the versatility of his game?
The pitching and hitting has been outstanding for what he's done in base running and stuff like that. He's a complete player. I mean, there's no doubt about the type of player he is and what he's accomplished in his career. The game has just changed.
Okay.
I mean, the game is way different than it is than when I played. The same way Michael talks about it or anyone else. Ohtani is not going to hit 2 home runs without seeing one go right here. In my generation, I don't care what he does. He's not going to steal 2 bases without somebody decapitating his kneecap and slow him down, because it's a different game back then. Today's game, they take batting practice all day. They take batting practice at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up. These guys hit more than I've ever seen in my entire lifetime that we didn't do. And they should be better than us as hitting wise, because they can hit a home run, flip their bat up in the air, run around, get a taco, come back down, have a limo, drive them around, all these antics that we weren't allowed to do. If I did anything like that, there's no way I'm going to see a star.
Wow.
I'll see the hospital, but I ain't going to see baseball that
That's
day.
the unwritten stuff, though.
And so as a hitter, we had to hit in a way to where if I hit a home run, I know what's coming in next at bat or possibilities. So my thing is I have to be a little more defensive and be more of a contact hitter to get out of a problem than it's, well, they can just do and hit. And sometimes I think it could be a disadvantage. But Ohtani, dude, the boy can play. There's no question about who he is. My opinion, I just hope he just stays at the hitting category, because his hitting ability is off the chart. Pitching, I just think might tire him out. I think he should come out of the bullpen here and there, like he has these, because he's DHing, he can come out of the bullpen and throw an inning or 2 here, and just because he's so good as a reliever too. Like he could be one of the dominant relievers and dominant starters. I think as a starter, man, I think it might get wear and tear a little bit and tire him out. Why fix something that isn't broken? Because
That's definitely not
that's
broke.
like, I'd be like, no. I ain't fixing nothing, ain't broken. This is good. I'm good. Peace. This is great. But I think coming out of the bullpen, he could really dominate.
Damage.
This episode is brought to you by Captain Morgan, America's #1 spiced rum. The legend starts when you follow the captain.
Talking about.
March Madness time. Who is the best leader you ever played with, Danny?
Timmy.
Now, I have a question, though. Was he a leader by example,
All
out
around.
vocal, everything?
Both. I just don't think people see it. You don't see the vocal as much, because they know him as to be quiet, but he's not as quiet as you think. In the locker room, he lets you be, in them timeouts, he's letting you know what's going on, but he's encouraging. Like, I've had great players, like I said, I love playing with James and Joel, but you could tell they don't know how to talk to certain guys a certain way.
Yep.
Yes,
Can't talk to
you got to
everyone
know
the
your
same.
personnel of how to approach guys. You can't approach everybody the same way.
Right.
Tim was the only superstar I played with that was the biggest cheerleader on the sideline when he wasn't in
He
the
didn't
game.
care to be a superstar.
When he wasn't in the game,
Act like it.
like I played with Jermaine O'Neal, and I ain't saying they didn't, but Tim was up every play.
Man.
I'm talking about every play cheering on the team, bro. Every play. That's the only, and the caliber play was all the other caliber players. You really didn't see that from
He
guys.
said
like that.
15-time All-Star, 15-time first team All-NBA, 15-time first team All-Defense. He's the only one ever to do that.
It's wild.
Nuts.
I seen him get
Crafty,
a
man.
quadruple double game 6. So, I've never seen him shoot.
Right, yeah, he do something. You look at this box score, like, damn, Timmy had 30 and what? 15? He's 38. Like, he was doing it, and he said he became so easy to him.
What up, y'all? This is Matt
Your boy Stak.
from the All the Smoke podcast.
Big news. We're teaming up with the ultimate sneaker plug, StockX.
You see it. It's on our feed. Let me put you on to something real quick. If you're serious about sneakers and style, you need to be on StockX.
For the Raz kicks to the latest releases, StockX gives you access to everything you need to level up your game. No more missing out, just straight up access to what's next.
Head to StockX.com or download the StockX app to level up your collection.
It's the game changer. StockX. Now you know. Current day, you got your daughter with you and you talked about working out. What brings you joy today?
My kid's taking over everything. I don't do interviews. I've never done hardly
We
anything.
appreciate it.
And my daughter is like, took over, and she just said, Dad, you need to step back and
out
let
there.
us do this. And so I'm learning to shut up. Learning, huh, Shakar? A little bit. I'm learning to allow them to dictate this new generation that I'm not overly comfortable with, but at the same time, I need to adapt to. And so I'm allowing them to take over and say, Dad, you need to be here.
Are
do
we gonna
this.
start seeing you more on social media? And
That's already started. They got this stuff going crazy, and I'm
love
just
it.
like, what are you doing? I don't even understand this. What are you liking? Why are you tagging him? I don't even know him. I'm like, I don't want anybody on my phone, you know? It's like, I'm always like, what are you doing? It's like, so
That's
they
funny,
took it like, because
yeah.
I ride my bike all the time, I cycle a lot, so I have Strava and, you know, my Zwift and stuff, and we give likes on to each other for working out and training. So my daughter had to explain to me, it's the same thing. It's like, Dad, you're appreciating what he's done
Right.
by the same thing. So think of it like when you're riding your bike on Strava and you're giving your likes and stuff and things like that. Think of it like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. But at first I'm just thinking,
what the hell
people
is
got
this?
all my information. I'm not doing this. You tripping,
I ain't feeling
dog.
that.
I ain't in all that. You know, so.
Well, if you guys need help on the social media side, let us know. We just launched that side of the company and we're doing really well. So
Oh, that's good.
if you guys need some help with some ideas, we got you.
She's the boss.
Well, yeah,
now.
we'll talk to the head of the
Yeah, you gotta start. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get 60, you gotta learn to step down. I think it's like it's my time to. My kids are at the point where they're old enough to do it, you know, and it's time for me to just say, Dad, I gotta step to the side a little bit.
But you look great.
I still get one leg in it. It's scary, but you know. But so far, it's been a blessing. I mean, when you can have your family do stuff and know that they're doing it right and the best that they can, and as a parent, it's pretty gratifying.
Bay Area, it isn't doing too good right now. When we were here, we did a lot of community work. I actually donated a court on April 12th. It's actually my day here. But you do a lot of foundation work here.
Tons.
And what are you up to around the city, and how can we help, you know, with what you're doing here?
Right now, I think the city right now, all of us are in a transition stage right now to find out now when you lose the Oakland A's is very tough. It's gonna be tough there. I mean, you know, protecting that city is very, very important because crime is not great here.
Right.
And we're in this transition to where we need to put more and more value into our kids and more value into our education system, and just in our leadership has to change. It's like things have to start changing where we need to demand this from them, not ask them. We need to demand this a long time ago. I understand the youth of things, but you're not ready to take over. I mean, we as the elders, or even older than me, whatever, we need to demand that respect from them, and we need to demand it the right way and allow them to take over it and do it the right way. And once we do that, and we can transition back, we need to transition back a little bit. I think we're trying to go too far forward, and we need to come back and say, hey, wake up.
First thing to come to mind, let us know.
Guilty pleasure.
My dog.
What kind of dog?
My black miniature schnauzer.
Miniature
mini.
schnauzer.
Cycling, working out in the gym, being happy.
I mean, you look
that's
great.
it.
You're 60 or you're about to be 60.
No, I'm 60. I'll be 61 in July.
Looks like you're aging backwards, Benjamin Button.
That's look good.
All right, I'm gonna take you a little bit outside of your comfort zone right here. Build your perfect baseball player. Discipline. Who would you put for discipline? And feel free to use yourself.
No. That's too easy. It would be a combination of people. Because I love so many, like Ken Griffey Jr. is the key. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. if he never got hurt the way he did, would just be phenomenal. But you got people like Cabrera, Albert Pujols, Larry Walker, Todd Helton. I can go on and on with just all around, Eric Davis, Barry Larkin, Andre Dawson. I mean, there's so many of my Bobby Bonilla, I mean, my best friend and things like that. But if I had to pick like the elite, I mean, I'm gonna go with Junior because Junior was 18 years old. He was a kid. He came in and just electrified everything. Fortunately, he just got hurt during the times, but a kid that can do everything. Vladimir Guerrero, unbelievable. I mean, if he could ever not swing at everything, there's no one who beats that guy. He can throw a ball from the fence all the way. He and Larry Walker too. He got speed. He can do whatever. I mean, there's so many players of my generation that the competition level was so high amongst us all that it's hard to just pick one individual. You know, yeah, sure. Did some of us stand out? Yeah, okay, all right. I mean, I'm not gonna knock myself down. Did I stand out? Yeah. But if you're saying not choosing myself, I would choose King Griffey Jr.
We lost late great Ricky Henderson this year. Any
I
relationship
forgot
with him?
about Ricky.
Any relationship with him?
Oh, we were tight from day one. I mean, you guys understand, my dad played baseball, so most of the players that came up admired my father. So we all were friends at points even when I was younger. So Ricky and I, you know, been boys ever since I was little. Just like MC Hammer and I've been friends ever since I was
MC
little.
Hammer.
Because he was in Oakland when my dad was going over there, and we were all friends. So but there's, you know, who I think would have been probably, you know, people always talk about Bo Jackson and Bo Jackson was a specimen. He never got hurt either, but I'm never going to deny Deion Sanders, ever. I mean, anybody can say whatever the heck they want, but if you can play two professional sports professionally and do it well, and he played baseball well, and he played football great, okay?
Hard to beat.
And I think if he had time to play baseball as all the time, he would probably be there too as a leadoff hitter, etc. So on.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the greatest athlete? When you can play two professional sports
Highest level.
at the highest level, I ain't in that category. Deion Sanders in that category. Bo Jackson's in that category. There's players that, you know, did two sports professionally, and trying to play one's hard enough to have to try to do two.
Was Deion ever an all-star?
Deion, I don't think he was
made the
all-star, but
All-Star.
I mean, we were teammates.
Yeah.
I saw Deion Sanders hit a ball in center field. We were in Florida. He hit a ground ball up the middle. It just got through the center fielder's leg, and Deion was standing on third base. I went in the dugout, in the back in the clubhouse, and I said, hit that rewind tape, please, because I missed it. That's how fast he was.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, when you're, even me, as good as I was base running, the way he cut those bases, I was like, whoa. And then all I want to do is imitate it, you know, because that's my brain, right? But I was never going to be fast as him. But not even close. Deion could look at you backwards and just run. Like, that's crazy when a man can talk to you behind you and go, come on.
73 home runs. What was your favorite part about that journey that season?
Consistency. I was consistent that year. I felt it I didn't feel it in springtime. I got to tell you a story behind this. I bet against myself, to be honest with you, because it was really the worst year of my life, because I bet Sean Dunston a Mercedes and I lost. And in baseball, we have a rule. If you and I have a bet one-on-one and nobody hears it, then you can renege or do whatever you want, and then you can be mad. But if you call your dude out in front of the team, you have to honor that bet or you get the beat down, right? This is my generation.
Right.
And so I was hitting balls in spring training, and I just felt locked in like I had never felt in my entire life. I just felt like, wow. And Sean goes, you're going to break the record. I'm like, you stupid. No one in the planet's going to hit 70 home runs just because I had a few good days of BP and I was hitting home runs all over the place. And it's like, you're nuts. And I always wait to this fall down, you know, because good athletes and good hitters, we always know we're going to come down. It's just how far can we stop the fall, right? Those are the good players, right? Because you're always going to fall. I don't know what happened. I really can't even explain it. I was just so consistent and locked in to where I could see things like this and I could see it happening fast. I mean, I could tell you what pitch was coming. It's like this. And it's not that I knew what pitch was coming. I could just calculate the situation. Like I can read in his eye, like, you're gonna do what? And it's just, you know how you have that feeling, and you know, everyone has that moment. Mine just lasted a long time. That was just it.
What does the Bay Area mean to you?
Home. It's been my home my whole life. I mean, it's my hometown. So I think it'd be different. I played in a different city, or say like what's, you know, like Cleveland would be to me if I wasn't from there or something. It'd be different, but I was raised here my whole life, ever since I was a baby. I don't know anything else, so it's just home. Everyone I know is friends of mine, politicians. We went to high school together. The sheriff, you know, we grew up together.
Call
so
Barry, if we get in some shit, we got to call Barry.
Yeah. That's all right.
Barry's
Call me. There's someone I know or my family knew, or so it's just always been home. I don't know anything different.
Great. Well, Barry, man, we appreciate you. We love you. There's a
thank
lot
you.
of us who love you out here and would love to start seeing you do more of this and share, because there's so much greatness. And we all look at you at the top of the totem pole. And
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you just giving us a little bit of time today, man.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate
welcome,
you,
brother.
man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it.
Man, that's a wrap. The legendary, the GOAT, Barry Bonds. You can catch this on DraftKings Network and all the Smoke Productions YouTube. We'll see you guys next week.
Check this out. Deli Boys on Hulu. Two brothers, Raj and Mir, are living up the high life. Not a care in the world.
When their old man dies, it all vanishes. Poof. And they find out he just didn't own a deli, but he was a drug kingpin. And they're like, what the?
Throw in the ruthless aunt, some guys that want to kill him, and keep their dad's drug business going.
Sounds amazing, right? Deli Boys is now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network. I know we stay joking, but let me take a second to put on my serious voice, because this isn't a joking matter. Me personally, I would never joke about a 5G network that has invested billions in building 5G towers across the country.
Me neither.
Not even once.
Me neither.
Feel me?
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store for more information.
The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas.